There are lots of obstacles to happiness. Obstacles that come from our own brokenness, from other people's brokenness, or just from problems in the world around us. Virtue gives us the power to beat all of these obstacles. And that's why this series is called Virtue and Freedom, because virtue gives us the power to overcome these evils, which in turn gives us the freedom to pursue happiness.
It can feel at first like being in a constant struggle, and yet eventually it actually becomes a liberation.
So what's the plan for this series? First, we're going to look at the reality of evil. Evil in the world and in our own lives.
We notice the panoply of negative emotions that begins to arise. Jealousy, fear of failure.
And what happens, of course, is I end up in crisis. I end up not happy, and I don't know why. I feel aggressive, I feel angry, I feel bitter.
And then we'll look at the ways that we can resist evil.
Sometimes we talk about problems at the biological level, or problems at the psychological, or the social, or the spiritual level. But in fact, all of these different levels communicate.
And finally, we'll talk about some positive principles that can help us lead virtuous lives.
Every time I go to my counselor, every time I go to my priest, every time I would go to adoration, I would feel so much stronger.
There's only two directions in life. There's a million plot lines, but you can only move toward God or away from God.
We've traveled to many places to hear from some of the best minds on these subjects.
How do we acquire virtue? How do we become virtuous? And some of the greatest thinking on this goes back to Aristotle.
It changes your whole way of thinking. It revolutionizes the whole way you think about yourself.
So by the time we've finished, you'll be ready to set out on the journey of virtue to freedom to happiness. Let's get to it.